For those of you who are worried, yes, I have been saving on a fairly regular basis just to prove it to you. We did just have a save. Not as regular as I should, but we're still getting better. I'm going to try to start doing that at the end of each episode as a reminder because autosave bites the video gamer dude. So it's time to start working on the east throat and the oil line. Those three oil lines coming out of the east throat and getting things going. I've got it on pause so that we did stop. We're going to stop at the January 1 mark in one of these episodes here and go over the financials. See where we're sitting. Down the road, I'll find a game point where we can have a matchup and make certain that I'm doing as close of a matchup as I can. Won't get the hours quite right. I'm certain of that. But we will do what we can to get it within the same day and month and year to start watching, hey, how are we doing financially with these changes? Because again, that was a huge profit line that game was making each month, and it had it had several 100 million, over 100 million, and sitting in the bank ready to go. All right, let's see what we can do. Starting on pause, and it's time to think the way through it. And the first thing I can see that I need to do is to relocate the yard. The yard needs a good spot, and where that spot's going to be is going to be tough to pick. We're going to have multiple junctions occurring down here, multiple other things. So I'm not certain which way is going to work best for all of this. We just have too many spots where there's multiple lines rolling, and not all these lines make sense. I mean, that's an awful lot of tunneling and an awful lot of bridging to pull these stunts off. Maybe, just maybe, the streamlining is the way to go. So, that said, welcome to episode 6 on the Dyford Rex channel, which is the show called How Not to Game. I'm Kelly Jack, your host, and we're doing the Devil's Towers 1969 Start Fixit for the Devil's Tower map game that I'd played over the years. At some point I'm going to go through that and make it so that you can see the original, and we'll have some comparison points you can take a peek at. As I blow by them, people can take a laugh at me. Hey, you were doing bad. Hey, you were doing good. Should have left it alone. Whatever. First things I'm going to do is note that we're getting some speed records from our semis, which is a good sign. Delivering the gas to the gas stations, and that makes sense. That's how gas gets to a gas station. Very few gas stations are built on the pipelines, and it's either pipeline, and occasionally you get transport of gasoline by rail. At least in the U.S. I don't know about other countries. All right, we're going to start laying out a double track section and a goal to make this our double track. And that's going to require quite a bit of fixing. Keep it so that our dispatch yard is still connected. We're going to sell the trains that are in there. The reason is that even after I said I wanted to keep those trains, 1, I can use the money. 2, I can't destroy the old depot and give that space back to the city with trains in it. So let's get the money, and I'll I'll show you how much money we got back in just a second by going to new vehicles. We got 19,000 back. So that'll help our bottom line, which is hurting at the moment, but it is early in the month. That's part of the problem. We should get about 160,000, and that should be about 150. Looking at our monthly operational profits, yeah, last month was a peak month versus it. You can see we do have ups and down cycles going, and that's just delivery cycles due to distance traveled, speed of the trains, and how many trains. And it is time to seriously consider just how jammed up this is going to be. Again, we've got another 3-train clog up here coming from the concrete place that's going to go into a dual line up to the polybuild supply, where we're going to take this 3-line and cut it back down to just this double line. And that might be the first step towards making this into what we need it to be. And it's going to require signaling and building right. So first things first, where those rails come together is going to become a point of contention. First off, I'm going to do this, blast that guy. For right now, that's just a dispatch line, so I'm not too worried. Kind of doing a line like this, and then a little bit like this. And then we can add a yard here for me direct mine yard. Clean that up. Thank you. Connect this in and run this guy through, drop the bridge, and go ahead and run him through. We're going to do a connection here. And time for some signals. We need to stop a train there and stop one there for right now. We also need to stop one here for the moment. Actually, we'll bring him up to here and here. Put 2 ways for the crossing for now until we fix the meteorite mine, and the meteor train. By going into our signaling. So the first step is taken. Be right back, gotta blow the nose. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. So I left it here so that we can watch how the trains are going to function across this, and also to point out that we're going to be bringing this all together and doing it into a single integrated line across at a very near future point. That coal train needs to be fixed. Boy, does that need to be fixed. All right, so now that I know what we're facing, I can begin starting work on connecting things up. Yes, it's going to temporarily slow down my trains, but sometimes you have to do that in order to fix things. Take out that excessive signal. Let's go ahead and begin stretching it further down. So now we're connected into the steel line. Going to need a signal eastbound there and westbound there. For now, we're not going to take and do too much signaling. We're going to go ahead and let him block them off. We're going to drop a signal here on the spur line, the connector line for dispatch line, because we're going to need that to not block once we begin rerouting trains. Also, in the near future, we're going to need to, until we get the guys realizing where the trains need to run, avoiding trying to take and find any way they can to get to places. Because my guys like going fast. Engineers, difference between a semi-trans and an open TTD engineer is a semi-trans engineer seems to have a greater need for speed and a higher standard of self-preservation. Whereas the open TTDs, you don't have the signaling right, they're going to go crashing into each other just to prove a point and cause mayhem, which that's why a lot of folks like that game is things go wrong. Now, because this is going to become our dual line portions, I need to drop this down and do an up to the bridge. But the problem is with an up, I can't do the type of bridge I want, I think. Well, let's see. That is this line, which comes up to this train. He's at 0%, so I can drop the bridge. He's not moving anytime soon. So let's drop the bridge. Thank you. Blow those. Bring this guy down to ground level. And let's see if it will let me put the bridge back in. Doesn't look like it. Oh, you do have to take and do that in order to get that to work. No, it's not going to let me do that bridge the way I want. So we're going to lower this back down and do the bridge this way. There we go. Temporary crossing that we'll fix down the road. This allows trains to still function the way they want to. So managed to take and kick this all into this line here, which is going up to that point and hasn't connected to this. Now we need to build a junction. And we're going to use that ramp up there. And here it's going to be a little bit tougher. We're going to have to build a horseshoe, a hard ride into a horseshoe, which I don't like, but this is temporary. the junctions will become a little bit more functional as we eliminate certain sections of rail. Okay, so this is where we need to get to. We just put in that. Now we can drop this bridge, which will block him. He'll now come this way down the rail. We are going to fix one thing. I have never liked that under the bridge switch, mainly because it looks weird going through the pillar. All right, bring him to here. And right here, we're going to merge him in. Just like this. We can now crash that section. And then it's up here that we need to fix things. And we're going to do that with a single rail section. It's going to run from here to there. Drop the bridge, bring that across. Put a signal there. And now we can take out this whole section of rail and get some savings. And down the road, we'll be able to shorten or eliminate this tunnel too. Hopefully eliminate it. There we go. Now for the next thing I've got to do, I need to clean this up a little bit. Get a southbound signal there and a northbound signal there. And then we will do another northbound signal here and a southbound signal there, as well as an on-rail signal there. Now we can clear this section of rail and this section of rail. This will also let us get rid of this crossover, unless we choose to keep the crossover. Now, crossovers can be a good thing, and especially when you're using them as a signal point, because you may need to do some work down the road that requires it. And by taking out the signals, you can make that a one-way stretch that everybody holds at. You're still using forward, you're not stopping all traffic by doing it as you work on rail. And that's why you have crossovers, to get around derailments, rail line work, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so with the cleanups we've done, we're looking good, looking good, looking good. And this is where we need to do that. This becomes a one-way, and we're going to have them hold here. This is 2 ways until we get this fixed, because this guy goes to the coal mines, which we now need to hook in, because that coal mine line to there is kind of a disaster, isn't it? That coal mine line, which will eventually become our main line, we'll fix in a little bit. All right, that's 20 minutes. That's about our video length. The guy who had a route issue has resolved it because he's not there anymore. That was because we were doing signaling issues. Probably had the signals still face the wrong way for him. We'll be doing more and more fixes as we go along. I'm Callie Jack. Feel free to like and share the video. Subscribe if you want. I won't ask for the notifications because I know those fill up an email box myself. And hey, have a better day than I'm having.